Hey there, hope you guys are doing fine. I'm doing fine. I hope you have enjoyed your weekend. I definitely did. And for today, I would like to do something different. Because in the last couple of episodes, I have been explaining that I am really going to need to have a new ship for adventure mode and or building. And building is going to be the most important part there because I will keep running out of resources, and when I'm getting resources, my chests are filled up way too quick. And when I need to make like 75 compasses, I'm waiting for maybe 20 minutes in order to get everything done because the blacksmith can only do 12 at a time, and so on and so on. There are a couple more reasons why I want to have a bigger ship. But there is one thing that I have been doing wrong, and I'm going to explain all about it before we're going to make the actual new ship. Also, this is going to be a two-part video for the very good reason, and that is that I want to get some feedback from you guys if you have any, and then for the next episode I can implement those ideas. I'm going to finish the ship off, we're going to build it into adventure mode, and then we are ready for a whole new adventure. So here the story starts. Now you guys might have noticed that I've been building a couple of crazy looking ships. I've been making a piggy ship, I've been making a frying pan ship, I made 2 box truck ships, and I was pretty happy with those designs. And to be real honest, when I went from box truck V1 to box truck V2, I made the same mistake that I've been making right down here. So my idea was that I wanted to create a cargo looking ship. It's going to be super simple. You have seen those ships probably from pictures or even in the news when this evergreen ship was kind of blocking in, I believe, Dubai or something. It was like world news stuff. I wanted to have a ship like that because I had a couple of ideas that I could implement in that ship, giving myself different sections of resources and clothing and all that kind of stuff, making it a lot more easier for myself in order to build and go out on adventure. So let me just show you what I've been doing, and then I'm going to continue on what I have been doing wrong and or what I need to keep in mind for the future, and maybe you guys had the same problem. So as you can see, I have been talking about a certain shape that I wanted to do in the first place for a very good reason. I wanted to have a more wider ship, but I did not want the bottom to be wider. So in this case, I took an idea that you see a lot at aircraft carriers. It's very narrow at the bottom and very wide at the top. While normally I would only use these pieces, then go up and go up, which means a whole block or maybe 1.5 block depending. I have lesser space and have that on both sides, makes it a lot of space. So as you can see right down here, it is perfectly narrow to the bottom here and not like right down here, because there are some parts in the water you don't have a lot of space, right? And it's a problem if you get stuck all the time. And so on and so on. I needed to do the front. Now the front was the most trickiest part, and there is also a reason why I didn't went straight from this point of on, and why I also didn't hook this shape up to here, which I'm going to show you a little further ahead. So right down here you can have a very good idea on why I didn't went all the way here, because once again the ship is getting longer and you have a lot of space that is very hard to use, even though I have a little bit of an idea which I will show you in a second. And you can also see why I didn't continue this shape here, because then the front would look very awkward. So I rather went from this shape right down here. I also tried to actually get this shape up here on the front because it make it look a little bit more realistic. I couldn't get the deal done. I am not very good at these kind of puzzles, but I'll guess if I would have spent a lot more time onto it, I might have done the job. So in this case, I have a steamship down here because the steamship is apparently the fastest haul. And then if you place like an engine on it, it's going to be the best ship for speed for you. I'm not sure about handling though. So as you can see right down here, this ship is a lot wider than the usual ship you might make. You might already end up here. Like I said, because of the shape, you don't want to go too thick on the bottom, because you're going to get stuck maybe at certain spots. But this is just awesome. So then I went doing the storage area, and I first started off with chests, and then I got the advice to actually use something different with more space. Now I had a little bit of trouble accepting that for the very good reason, which I have this model down here. As you can see, I got 3 chests. I believe one chest is 22 slots, which basically means it's 66 slots in here. Now the nicest thing about this is actually that you can have, for example, if you use cobalt, zirconium and the other purple stuff, you can have 1 chest per resource and it doesn't take up too much space. And I like that. I like to have 1 resource per chest. I don't want to add 2 resources per chest because then it will become messy again. It is also perfect, for example, you know, if you have lock, you just place a lock on here and then you can fill 3 chests up with lock. 66 space is a lot. Now Yohas Lego actually came with the idea that I should be using something that was way too expensive for me, but I do appreciate the push in order to get more space onto my ship. So he actually handed me a design. I can even find this one. I think it should be in here. That's so much stuff in here, it's just crazy. So he actually came up with this idea right down here. Now you might think, yeah, what is this for bendy shape type of deal? But that's because the way he has his ship. You have to imagine there's another one coming here. And these storage chests has a space of 54 per, which is just a lot. And as you can see, if you would place 6 of them like that, which I had with the cabins, you might have the same space /ish. Which means you have a ton of space, right? You have to imagine 6 times 54 is a lot. Not only that, you got a nice amount of space to, you know, have 1 resource per chest if you like to. The only problem with these chests is they cost a lot of cobalt. And a lot of cobalt. I mean, a lot of cobalt if I need to fill up this area and fill up that area, and then on the top there will be even more. That's not going to work out for me. So JD actually helped me out trying to find something that has a little bit more space than, you know, the cabins. So in this case, oriental chests. As you can see, it looks pretty neat, it looks pretty nice, and this is not the problem of the ship though. I still have 2 of these for wood. And anything else that needs lesser, I just gave it 1. Perfect, right? Also, here is the idea I had, what I've just been talking about. There's not much you can do with this, but this is actually a fine idea. Got like smaller storages with space of 15, which if you think about it, do you really need 15 slots for flint? Or for these kind of stones, or if you have some leftovers of iron, which, you know, normally you would start baking and just put right in this chest. And so on and so on. Smaller chests, perfect. And then on this side, I wanted to add in all of the stuff which contains these kind of things. You know, 1 chest for rods, 1 for this and that, and on and on. Just basic stuff for building. I don't need anything more right down here, and I would have like a quick access from the ship in here right into the room where I need the stuff for building. I would basically, you know, place another wall right down here, exactly here, add on the other side when you when you come in some more of these dump chests, because I like to have some dump chests if I need to do some quick stuff. And then you just walk around it. The first thing you will see is the ship engine, then have like the recharge station, and then anything else will come around here. For example, for blacksmith, so I can just, you know, make the stuff that I need to in 3 minutes instead of 20 minutes. So what was my other idea to put stuff into, or where to place it? Well, I just continue building, and basically I made this ladder here to go onto the outside of the ship, because if you fly with your propeller pack, the ship will stop. That's annoying. And the reason why I don't make any more doors, because I want to have 1 door, because I wanted to also have the ship being useful for multiplayer, so I can just lock it up. So as you can see, I got some small holes here at the side, which, you know, you're already outside, go in there, if I come out of the, captain's deck, I just need to take a look outside. I could just wander around if need to, whatever, and even operate this cannon, which on some point made me realize this is not going to work out. So what else? Well, in here, the first thing you see is here a ladder. You go onto the ladder, then you come into the changing room, which in these lockers, I wanted to have my normal armor and some extra for, one for arid region and a couple extra in case I die, so I can just quick grab some stuff and go out and get my stuff that I lost. On this side, there would be all diving stuff. And down here, there would be a whole chest for all of these capsules to just fill up. And right down here for some extra ammo to fill up besides the ammo belt. Then I planned on to make the captain's deck. And later on, I was like, I'm going to have a place to wake up. I didn't want to make it right down in here because I wanted to be able, if I was first person, need to turn around, take a look around, that I can just look through these windows all the way around without being disturbed by a bedroom. So later on, I was like, maybe I should add in another layer here and then this layer on top. So there could be the bedroom and maybe a couple of beds for visitors or whatever. Sounds nice, right? Down here, I wanted to make like a couple of these big storage containers which you see on evergreen ships or whatever, and then access them via this room. So the containers are all, connected up with each other, have different rooms, one with clothing, one with weapons, tools, etc, etc. Sounds like a nice plan, right? But this cannon, not only this cannon, I realized that this design is actually something that I did not want it to. I like creating crazy designs. And like I said before, after my V1 box truck, I wanted to create something else. And what did I do? I basically did the same what I did right now. I tried to create a container ship. So as you can see down here, I actually was busy with this. I need to test it out, how fast it was going, if I was happy with it. You can see it was like a total different design. It was very white and yeah, very ugly, simple. And you can see the idea what I had with storage containers, basically the same. And it's actually kind of funny that I'm making the same mistake again. And the other thing here is the ship is very wide, so now you can see that this is not a good idea, right? Now, of course, I have one ship design that I might show it once, but never really got into, is this guy right down here. Yes, I tried to create a ship that was also between I believe, the V1 box truck and the V2. I wanted to create something just like Piggy ship. And this is like the shark ship I came up with. It has place for cannons. It has, like a little bit of decorative type of deal. This ship is actually not looking bad. But for some reason, when I've been building this ship, I came to the conclusion that, once again, this is not what I want. So then you might ask me, JB, well, what do you want? Well, I want something that is out of place. But like I've been saying, I want to do a part 2 because this was just a lot of talking, a lot of explaining, and showing you guys, the mistake I made. And maybe for you guys, some of you can learn about this by thinking twice before you add up a ton of work onto something you actually don't want in the end, right? And another thing that is of course a problem, it is already Monday, it is almost 2 o'clock and I'm going to have an episode, and I did record a lot of stuff with these parts that I have down here. I just threw it away because I couldn't deal with that. And once again, I have been saying, if you have a problem, do something about it if it doesn't feel good, right? So in this case, I'm going to do a long story short of an idea that I have in mind, what I would like to, create for the ship idea. And one thing I am going to keep in mind is that this ship is going to be a design which I can add in a cannon and have cargo without making it look too weird. So I went online, and there is a type of deal that I once also wanted to build, and that was actually a spaceship. It might sound kind of crazy, but there are a lot of cargo spaceships out there that has such a design that it actually looks legit to have cargo and or to have cannons on them, because it just makes it look like futuristic. It is a crazy design to have this onto the water, and in my eyes it's just actually perfect. So you just have to imagine this is the steamship hull, and this is an idea that I would like to create onto the ship. It's not going to be perfect like that, it's going to be slash-ish like that. And there are a couple of reasons why I'm building it or wanting to have it the way it is, because it's perfect. So the front is actually going to contain some cannons and stuff which I can just approach if need a ghost ship and just, you know, fire those cannons onto it, make it look legit to have pipes and things sticking out at the front. And at the same time it is like streamlined for a little bit. But basically here's the idea that I would like to do in order to get the same thing that I have going on down here, but then put it on to this one. So what I would like to do is, you need to imagine I need to make a futuristic looking container and place these guys at the side. Now indoors these containers will be open, and in these containers I can place all the storage chests and whatnot just like I had before. Now the nicest thing of this idea is that I can build this up, so I can have another couple of containers on there, and of course you need to imagine that this stuff will also be up. Maybe like this, maybe it can better be like inclined, something like this would be nice. And what I can do is take a couple of rows, take these guys out, and then implement some cannons that are facing toward the side. Once again, it's a futuristic looking ship, and whatever these things might be, right? It's just futuristic type of high tech what is sticking out. Now, of course, this design is not going to look like as it looks right now, because it is not like shed up. The front doesn't look like how it's supposed to be. You know, this might already looks a lot better, and then you have to imagine it's gonna go, you know, continue its way before it's gonna go flat. I need to take care that the containers and this top side is like even out. Down here at the bottom, I want to keep it super simple. I want to keep it like narrow. And this also actually counts for the front part. Now, of course, on Friday's episode, I want to try to do a bit of speed building or part building, as I like to call it. Then I will just show you different parts and what I do next and what I do next. Just showing off what I have been doing. And on that way, we might be, you know, have a little bit of an assemble video. I think it might be a little bit better than speed building. Because with speed building, it's the case you always need to have enough to talk, right? Even though I talked a lot. Now, the other idea what I had is I had to think about, you know, being on multiplayer with multiplied people, for example, when I do my party stream or whatever, or Mystery Islands, and we just need to, you know, get to sleep and make it daytime again. It would be also handy when coming into the ship is to have a couple of rooms with beds. Everyone can just quick go in the bed, have a sleep, or when you need to do some ghost encounters and to make it nighttime, it's going to be super handy, right? And I still like the whole idea of having one door, but instead of making the door go open like I did before, I want to have the door go open the other way, and I might have it open into the water. Now, it is still a lot of space to go from this to that area, but this is something that I can work around with some stairways once you are in the ship. And what I would also like to try and see if I can make the back look like that, and have the door also being inclined already, so it opens a little bit further than, you know, it would when it's open like that. I don't want to have it open straight. I want to have it a little bit more downwards, really creating like a ramp type of deal. Now, of course, I'm looking at it, it would be cool if the front was a little bit more up. Like I said, I don't have the space on here to show literally everything, but it starts to kind of look like a cool design. Very blocky, meanwhile also very inclined parts here and there. It's going to be way more crazier than I'm actually building down here. And then, of course, on top, I would like to have the captain quarters also with another bed. I want to have the same rooms with the clothing idea I had. I just have to see, like, I got like a 2-layer deck down here for all the other needs. I got like a one open space with at the side some cabins with some windows viewing out onto the water, having the captain's deck on top, and of course to make it a little bit more futuristic, I can just, you know, try to build the windows inclined like this and have the top like that. And of course, as a cherry on a pie, which they did add at this time, you can now easily find bananas. And there's gonna be a banana on top like I used to do at my other ships. I'm just gonna do this because rotating ain't my best skill. Gonna be a very small banana. Maybe, well, yeah, it is small banana. Because that is my brand for my vehicles and ships and whatnot. This is the kind of design, like, it looks way more cooler, futuristic, and it will be a lot more detailed. So in this case, I hope this was still okay that I'm showing you all of this. If you have some ideas that I should be adding into the ship, keep in mind for today or slash is tomorrow, because after that I will have to, you know, build the whole thing, have it done for Friday's episode. And of course you can also let me know your experience with designing something, getting disappointed afterwards, and then creating something total new. With that being said, I hope you have an easy Monday. Hope you will have an easy week. And then I'll catch you guys Friday on episode 100. Alright, what could I else do on the side here? I'll guess could make it even more designy. Something like this. Move it backwards. Have something like this here on the side. Just give it a little bit more wing stability to say. Water is kind of a challenge to make something